Welcome to Get Married. I'm Colin Cowie. If you're one of the many brides and grooms who want to get away for it all on your wedding day, we'll give you the do's and don'ts of planning the ideal destination wedding.
And I'm Deanna Pappas. One definite do for your wedding will be saying, I do. And for that, you'll need a gorgeous gown. We'll take a look at the latest fashions designers are creating for the destination wedding bride. Get ready, it's Get Married.
GetMarried.com are now here to help you plan and celebrate a wedding designed just for you. So whether you want an over-the-top wedding with hundreds of guests and extravagant details, or a private beach affair surrounded by family members and friends, we have all the tips to help you pull off the wedding of your dreams. Destination weddings are one of the hottest trends in weddings today. Though they certainly provide a unique opportunity for an exquisite celebration, I've discovered through the countless destination weddings I've planned, there are some do's and some don'ts that every couple needs to know. Whether you're escaping to a beautiful beach or soaking in the rich ambience of a vineyard, your destination wedding can be an unforgettable experience for you and your guests. But you want it to be memorable for the right reasons, so make sure you follow the do's and don'ts of destination wedding planning. The most important do: be considerate of your guests.
Is it going to be easy for the guests to get there as well? In Mexico, you can get married in Cancun or Riviera Maya, where it's easy to fly into an airport and it's only 20 minutes away to the venue. You don't necessarily want people flying into an airport and then trucking 3 hours through the jungles of Mexico to get to your venue. And then what also is going to happen once you get there? So are they going to be in full sun exposure at your ceremony, things like that? It's really important.
Consideration is also critical when it comes to cost.
It would be amazing for guests to stay at the venue where the wedding is being held. Sometimes that's cost prohibitive, so we want to make sure there's other options for them, and also something that's in a pretty close proximity to the wedding, and also providing transportation for them to and from.
Now here's a big don't that may surprise you. Don't schedule your wedding for a holiday weekend.
A lot of people like to choose Memorial Day or Labor Day, but then again, you're going to ask your guests to pay the most amount of money for their hotel, the most amount of money for their gas. It ends up costing their guests a lot more.
So you've thought about your guests. Now what about you? There are definitely some do's and don'ts that will ease the stress of your big day. One important do: if you've never been there before, visit the location in advance if possible, and rely on a local planner or your hotel to help you design your big day. Another do: bringing your photographer with you.
One of the top vendors that I recommend importing is your photographer, just because I don't think that's one area where you really should be risky at all, and it should be something where you have a history with that person, or they've come very highly recommended, just because you cannot get those photos back.
It is sort of important to get us there a couple days ahead in case something happens with the air flight, and we like to location scout.
When using vendors local to your destination, remember the 2 C's: communication and contracts.
It's all about the contracts and seeing things in writing. If you can get photos of anything, that's a great idea. Look at everything that will be at your wedding. Take pictures and sign off on everything so that when you get there, there's no surprises.
And of course, don't take chances with the dress.
Luggage can be lost sometimes. I would consider shipping most of your items, if you can, beforehand, and a few days before the wedding, so you know they arrive safely. I would definitely make sure your wedding dress stays with you on the plane and not something that you check with the airline.
You have so much to think about for your destination wedding, but following these basic do's and don'ts will help ensure that your day is the dream you've always wanted. Looking for an incredible destination to throw your wedding? Check out the travel pages on GetMarried.com.
When it comes to your look for a sunny, tropical destination wedding, or perhaps a summer wedding at home, it's all about keeping it light and fresh. Here's a hot hair and makeup look perfect for a wedding under the sun.
Today we're doing seasonal makeovers for brides. We're gonna start with an amazing summer look. So we're just gonna prime her skin with some very light moisturizer. You don't wanna do too much priming, and this just acts as a barrier between the natural oils on the skin and the makeup. So then I'm gonna use a flesh-toned eyeshadow. Just keeping it nice and light. I'm just applying a little shadow to the lid. Don't wanna get too fussy with summer makeup because it's so warm out. The airbrush gun sprays the particles on, very tiny little particles, so they stay really well without feeling like that heavy brushed on feeling that some foundations can give you. You wanna work with a powder, not a cream in the summer. The powder's gonna stay on much better in the heat. For the summer, you wanna keep the lips really light, nice and light feeling. I'm just doing a really sheer, almost a beige lipstick. No lip liner, I'm just keeping it really light. Again, minimal products in the summer. And you're all set.
We're going to create a beautiful summer hairstyle for Tara. Curly hair is a very polished look for a bride. We don't want to do too curly, we want it soft, we want romantic, we want the hair to move. So once we set the hair and take it out, we can see all this body that we have with Tara. We decided to do something that's up because a lot of people worry about the humidity. A lot of people tend to get married on the beach, outdoors, so this really allows us to not have the hair flying around in the wind. We used a relaxing balm to ensure that the humidity won't break through the hair and cause it to frizz. With Tara, I really love her hair coming back like this. However, for her summer look, we do want her to feel like she has hair, so we're gonna keep this part of her hair down. To keep it light and fun, we chose these crushed flowers that are really pretty, playful, and they go with the romantic look.
Find more hair and makeup tips for your wedding any time of the year on the planning tips pages of getmarried.com. We've got more to come for you on Get Married. We'll show you a very creative way to make your wedding decor truly reflect your taste. And if you're looking for wedding favors that really reflect you and your groom, we've got an idea you won't want to miss. That's next.
A great way to dazzle your guests at your wedding is to use food in unexpected ways. That's right. It's not just a delicious meal anymore. It's creative out-of-the-box ideas like these that'll make your wedding one of a kind and one to remember. Looking for a way to create that wow factor for your wedding? One delicious way to dazzle and delight your guests is with edible decor.
People love food. That's just what we love, and especially in America, we love food. And so when you're thinking about favors, when you're thinking about wow factors, think about what makes your guests happy.
And what makes people happier than chocolate?
It goes with just about any theme. You can make chocolate in any shape you would like. You can have a beach theme, and it can be starfish or shells or fish, flowers.
The wedding that we did in Niagara Falls, the menu were all printed on actual chocolate, edible chocolate. And I thought that was kind of a cool that each person either took it home with them, or if they wanted to match on the menu while they were having dinner, they could. But I thought that was a very unique idea.
Chocolate fountains are another unique way to add a sweet surprise to your reception.
It can be milk chocolate, it can be dark chocolate, or it can be white chocolate. It's a wonderful treat for anyone that likes anything sweet.
It tastes wonderful, the smell permeates the room. It's absolutely an amazing sight to see.
Some designers feel chocolate fountains aren't the only eye candy that'll surprise their guests. They make them feel truly like kids in a candy store, with centerpieces made partly or even entirely out of colorful candies.
It's a centerpiece that can serve two purposes. You have your centerpiece and then you have your favor. And nowadays people want both. And that way you've got something in the center of the table that's lovely and pretty, colorful, tastes good, and then it's also something that you're offering your guests for thanking them for coming.
But one crucial piece of advice?
Try to stay away from centerpieces that are edible in a way that too many hands can be on the edible piece. So then it's not really being touched throughout, but the person who's taking the centerpiece home, they get to enjoy that special treat.
You and your sweetheart don't need to have a sweet tooth to cook up an edible look. Fruit makes a fresh yet luxurious addition to any wedding decor.
We've used a lot of fruit for weddings, which is kind of an interesting thing. I mean, we've done weddings that have been all lemons, for example. For a yellow wedding, tons of lemons. We love kumquats. We like to use grapes sometimes. If there's the opportunity, like we recently did a wedding in a vineyard, and we created a gazebo of red grapes, and it was stunning.
So for any bride and groom looking for a way to make your wedding stand out in the minds of all your guests, edible decor is guaranteed to create the sweetest memories of the day. Find endless ideas for creating a wow factor at your wedding. Check out our ideas and decor on the planning pages at getmarried.com.
If you've been to a wedding recently, you'll have noticed that edible favors are quickly becoming a must-have. But there are ways to make these wedding day staples something your guests would never expect to see by adding a little bit of yourself to every bite.
Personalized favors are a huge thing right now. Edible photographs on cookies, edible photographs on pedophores. They can be wrapped and a ribbon be put on the wrapping that matches the colors of the wedding. A special message from the bride and groom can be attached to the wrapping. There's just a wide variety of options available that make a little part of the wedding go home with the guests. You could do multiple pictures, like if you were going to have, say, 250 guests at your wedding, you could pick 5 or 6 of your favorite photographs and do a few of each different one and let the guests choose which one they like as they leave on their cookie or their brownie or whatever we apply it to. Edible photographs are made, this is really an interesting process. It uses a printer that just works off of a standard computer just like you would have at home, but instead of the printer having ink in it and having paper, it uses food coloring and sugar paper. So you scan a photo, the customer can email a photo, bring it in on a CD, bring it in on a disc. We do have the option of doing some digital enhancement to the photos if we need to, cropping, editing, things like that. And just print it out, it's cut out and applied to the icing and it kind of soaks into the icing and sets on the cookie or the cake. And it's really a neat process. Things like that really add a special touch to weddings, and it really makes the day special and helps the guests remember the event that they've been to. It just makes the family feel at the wedding carry out through the day.
You can find fantastic caterers, cake designers, and more incredible wedding professionals on the local resources pages of getmarried.com. Don't go anywhere. We've got lots more for you on Get Married. We'll get some chic tips for your destination weddings, and we'll show you how to look your best on the beach with the latest trends in destination wedding gowns.
Destination weddings are another wonderful way to create an intimate experience. Earlier, we saw some do's and don'ts. Now I want to share with you some ideas for making your destination wedding very chic. My book, Wedding Chic, is filled to the brim with thousands of ideas to help inspire you to plan and design the wedding of your dreams. Many brides and grooms dream of having a destination wedding. I want to tell you about one of my favorite weddings that took place in Mexico. Now, if this couple had their wedding in their hometown, they would have felt obligated to invite 300 to 400 people. Destination weddings are ideal if you feel like this couple and you have trouble cutting down your guest list. So choosing a destination theme will instantly cut your guest list to an intimate number of just your closest family and friends. This particular Mexican wedding took place on a private island where they could accommodate just shy of 60 guests. But you don't need to be extravagant to throw a wonderful destination wedding. A bed and breakfast or a country inn are great venues for a small, intimate guest list while still allowing you to share 72 quality hours with your family and friends. The ceremony for this wedding took place in the evening, with torches and lanterns adding light to the decor. A cross fashioned from 1,000 crystals suspended in monofilament was brought to life by the full moon. For this particular wedding, we wanted the reception to be as authentic as the destination. So all the fabrics, the glass, the vases, everything but the flowers on one long reception table was from factories and artisans in Mexico. Now, not everything at your wedding has to come from the destination, but by incorporating certain indigenous aspects, you'll add an authentic element that will make your wedding unique. We also surrounded the reception table with a mosquito net. It's important to know if you will need to incorporate any special measures like we did to ensure guests' utmost comfort. We then danced the night away in a small restaurant tucked behind the dinner table that gave a distinct nightclub feel. When guests returned to their hotel rooms, they found a hangover cure and a special note from the bride and groom. Yet another personalized detail to thank the guests for coming to their special destination wedding. Destination weddings like this Mexican escape allow unique opportunities to create an authentic experience, while at the same time you get to share quality time with your friends. You can find more of my ideas for making your wedding chic in the Colin Cowie pages on getmarried.com.
So now you know the do's and don'ts for your destination wedding, and hair and makeup tips for a flawless wedding look under the sun. But you have to pull the entire look together. You've got to have the dress. We took a look at the latest looks designers are creating for the destination wedding bride. Heading to the beach for an unforgettable destination wedding? Well, you're not alone. Over 500,000 brides get married away every year. Just as with any wedding, you'll be searching for the perfect gown. But for a destination dress, you need to spend a little more time thinking about your location and material.
There's a feeling that goes with the beach wedding, which is a little more airy and a little more sheer. And so we find brides gravitating toward organza or tulle, chiffon, things that move when the air moves, you know, thinking about being outside and goes with sort of the feeling of being at the beach.
There are fabrics that are going to show sweat a little bit more, that are going to be more sensitive. So maybe you want to go with some of the stretch taffetas or some of the laces.
As more and more brides head to the beach to say their I do's, designers have recognized the need to create simple gowns that will be comfortable in hotter weather.
The designers kind of veered away from full skirts and layered fabrics and kind of went for a more subtle, simple, slim silhouette.
But it's not just materials and silhouettes that designers are thinking of.
For a destination wedding, the most important thing is portability. Planes are getting a lot tougher with their rules. It used to be you show up with a garment bag, you say you're a bride, they'll take care of you, they'll hang it in the first class cabin. That's not the case anymore. Now you need to call ahead, you need to make sure that you have room to put your bag, let them know that you have your bag. Therefore, packability is key.
One designer that has an established reputation for creating stunning and packable gowns for girls on the go is Nicole Miller.
I've been using metal fabrics that are permanently crinkled, so it doesn't matter if they wrinkle more or less because they look wrinkly, and that's the beauty of it. So they look just as good when they come out of the box as they did hanging on the hanger.
But you don't just want your own gown to look beautiful walking down the aisle in all your pictures. You also want your bridesmaids to look fabulous. Mon Cherie has created chic gowns that look as good on your day as they did before your bridesmaids even packed them.
The dresses are all made out of a stretch material, a beautiful power match, and they're lined with a stretch. You take them out of the bag, and once you hang them, the wrinkles come off if there's any wrinkles.
Though a top consideration when choosing your destination wedding gown, packing it isn't all you have to think about.
How does your body look? You know, do you have tan lines? Be ready, you know, don't lay out the day before and get tan lines that you don't want to show across your back, especially if you're wearing a more bare dress in humidity.
The other thing to keep in mind is where your wedding is. Most destination weddings take place outside, so things like lace, feathers, veils that can blow in the wind, you want to make sure that that's taken care of.
Though there are several things to think about when choosing your gown, when it comes to destination weddings, there are really no rules.
I always go back to whatever thrills you is what you should do, and if it's a giant beaded ball gown on the beach, then go for it. It's your day, it's your wedding, have fun with that.
Find gowns for your destination wedding in the gown gallery at getmarried.com. Coming up on Get Married, we'll take a look at some of the most popular items brides are getting for their wedding day. What's hot right now for weddings? Carrying your beauty and style. Jewelry and makeup are essential items for any bride or bridesmaid, so why not pack those important things in something trendy and functional? Say thank you to your bridal shower guests with this shimmer stripe monogram cosmetic bag. Pretty pinks and lilacs stripe this versatile bag, perfect to hold any of those small accessories or beauty supplies. Choose the monogram of your choice to add a personal touch to each bag. Up the wow factor with this cosmopolitan monogram jewelry pouch. Not only is this pouch elegant and chic, its 8 pockets make it extremely practical. Each bag is finished off with an embroidered snap-on button personalized with the initial of your choice. You'll get an extra amount of protection with extra padding at the bottom of the jewelry pouch, sure to keep all your jewels safe and secure. Find all of these wedding items and more on the What's Hot and shopping pages of GetMarried.com.
Get Married's Blogger Brides is the online community that connects you and other brides with our team of acclaimed star bloggers. Make friends, chat, follow my blog, and get some great ideas on Get Married's Blogger Brides. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to visit us at GetMarried.com if you need wedding inspiration or planning tips. I'm Colin Cowie. We'll see you next time right here.